realized that animal products, as a medical student, also I like a lot of nutrition science. And I realized that if you eat, or if you have a high intake of food from animal products, your risk of different diseases is going to increase. For example, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and related disorders are associated with animal products. The same with cardiovascular disease like heart disease. Do you know somebody else, somebody of your family, of your friend that have heart disease or diabetes? I know my family have different diseases, but raise your hand please, it's just to have a knowledge. Do you know somebody in your country or in your family, somebody close to you that have type 2 diabetes, obesity, or some of these diseases? Can you raise your hand, please? Yes? Yes, so we are seeing that these diseases are so common right now because people are eating a lot of these animal products, and especially processed animal products like hamburger, like sausages, and this kind of food are the worst of all of them, like bacon, for example. Alright? And they are related with all of these diseases. And if we change our way to eat, we can change the risk of these diseases. And also, I understood that animal products or animal production has a big impact in environment because the production needs a lot of energy, a lot of water, a lot of land, a lot of resources. And that production releases a lot of greenhouse gases to the air, and that contributes to the climate change. So now we are seeing that animal products, if we choose animal products, we are choosing to have a higher risk of different diseases, and also we are choosing to contaminate or to pollute the environment. So if I realize that if I am disagree with this, I don't have to choose these products. And then of course I realize that if I choose animal products, I am supporting that somebody else can kill an animal and give me these products. And if I am not able to do that, why I should pay somebody else to do that? I try to understand this, and I say I can't support that, and I decided to choose more plant-based diet. And well, something so important here is that the environment. I think everybody is scared about the environment because we are seeing that right now. In Australia, a lot of wildfires. Amazon, some months ago. Coronavirus. Coronavirus is also because it came because people is eating a lot of species that are very weird. So when we eat a lot of this kind of animal, we have a high rate to develop this risk, environmental risk. For example, if we choose this kind of animal products, we are going to say, I support lost and habitat species. One of the main reasons because we are losing a lot of animals right now is because we are eating a lot of quantities of animal products. So when we watch in the news that an animal is in extinction because human is killing them, it's because we are making that their habitats disappear because we are making a lot of these animal products. The same with water. Water is going to be after some years later, is predicted that what is going to decrease for us. Also, forests, as I told you before, wildfires are every time it's more common. So it's something so special, and we have to change this situation, because if we don't change this situation, it's going to affect us and it's going to affect our children in the future. And if we can do that, and if we can do something, it's in our plate, for sure. For example, I am not saying that United Nations have told us in 2010, United Nations used global move to meat and dairy-free diet, because from a lot of time ago we have known that animal products are related with climate change. United Nations is saying that. Again, BBC News this year, and there is another news that plant-based diet can fight climate change. So I am not saying that. The world is saying that. But because there are a lot of news, there are a lot of information, we don't know about that sometimes. But now I am trying to give this information, and you have to think about that. It's so important. It's our responsibility. And this is a very scary news, that we have only 11 years left to prevent irreversible damage from climate change. Can you imagine that? Just 11 years until 2013. So we don't have too much time. We have to act now. We have to change our way to think, our way to act right now. But you have to try to do always the best as you can. I am not telling you, as I have been telling you in this lecture, I am not telling you to become vegan. You have to decide it. Alright? I am just giving this information. But I am sure that somebody else here is going to take this information and is going to reflect in that. In this. Well, this is a picture of me just to show you how I realized how was my journey in the veganism. When I was 15, I have been being a very sport person, but it was very complicated for me to change our scene, because I have thought that we need animals to develop muscle mass or to be high level of physical performance. But then when I changed, everything in my physical performance changed as well. But it improved a lot. But then after that, as you can see, I didn't have too many problems to develop muscle mass in a vegan diet, just in a vegan diet. In this picture, I weighed 55 kilos, and I weighed 75 kilos. Just in a vegan diet, I developed that. So I am showing you that it's possible to be vegan and be a very strong and active and healthy person. Alright? But then, after that, I was in the process, I watched a documentary called Earthling. I totally recommend you to watch this documentary. But it has a lot of shocking videos and pictures that I'm not going to show you here, because usually people don't want to watch this picture and videos how animal industry treats animals, because they are so shocking. But when I watched that documentary, it was the only way to change my mind, because it was so shocking that I wanted to participate in the suffering of animals that are treating so bad. Really so bad. But it's the only way to change, because we can't make invisible this. We have to make it visible to understand this. Alright? And well, there are some examples right now, because maybe you are wondering, but you are the only one who is vegan and you are very sport or a very active person. No, I have realized that there are thousands of vegan athletes, vegan sport people that are having a lot of benefits from this. For example, here are 4 bodybuilders, very famous in the vegan world, that are called young names, and one of them is Nimai Delgado, who has been vegan since his child, from he's 1 year old. So imagine this guy has been vegan practically since he's 1 year old. 1 year. So it is possible, and you won't have a lot of problem if you try it. At least try it and see how you feel it. Yes? Well, now I am showing you there is another YouTuber that is called Brian Turner, and he has an Instagram, and he has a YouTube channel, and he has shown that when he's in the right too. He's in the right. He's so positive, but also he has shown that when he changed to a vegan diet, his brutal acne decreased a lot, but a lot. So I show this because there are a lot of people right now that has troubles with acne, and maybe you can decrease your acne a little bit if you decide to eat more plant-based products. And now I want to hear you the story of Dominic, because he suffered a little bit this situation.
So Nicholas has talked a lot about the ethical reasons, and the reasons why he has chosen to be vegan. He has been vegan for twice as long as I have. I've been vegan for only 2 years now. But the reason why I chose to is because of my skin. Because 2 years ago I had really, really bad skin, specifically acne like Brian Turner did. And he's a famous YouTuber, and he's a bodybuilder. He's vegan, but he started his YouTube channel talking about skincare. So back when I was 24 years old, 2 years ago, around this time I was finishing school. I was finishing graduate school, and I was living by myself with my cousin in New Jersey. So around that time I was applying for jobs, and life was very difficult back then. I was applying to jobs, and I was working as much as I could for jobs that didn't pay very well, and I was trying to pay rent, and I was broke, which meant I didn't have much money, and life was very difficult in that way. And I was going to these job interviews trying to convince people to hire me for professional jobs in higher education, in colleges and universities, where I work now. But because I was trying to get by and make money so I could pay rent and my other expenses, my other bills, one job I had was at a gym. It was at a gym, and I did some sales. I was helping people buy memberships for this gym. And because I didn't have much money and I couldn't buy food that much, this gym allowed me to have as much protein shakes as I wanted to. So I'm sure many of you probably drink whey protein after the gym or before the gym to make you big and strong. So I was drinking whey protein every day. And something I didn't realize was that it made me look horrible. It destroyed my body. It made my skin really, really bad. I had really awful acne, and I just hated the way I looked. And I lived with my cousin at the time, and he was vegan. And he told me, you should try doing this. It will really help your skin like it did with mine. So I did that. And I'm sure many of you have heard of the famous motivational speaker Tony Robbins. And he explains that one of the most powerful ways that people change themselves is when they experience such pain. When they experience the pain so intense, and they think to themselves, I never want to feel this way again. So after I had gone through almost 40 job interviews of showing up, wearing a suit and tie, telling my story, of why all these different people should take me for this job, and then them telling me, no, we don't want to hire you. And that happening over and over again, it just ruined my confidence. It made me feel very less about myself. And also the way I looked, it didn't help at all either. So I felt very, very low about who I was. And then once finally I had gotten a job and I told myself, I never want to feel this way again. I never want to feel this helpless, this powerless again. So I chose to do this. And I did it for my health. I did it for my skin at first. But then as I realized, yes, it's good for the environment. It's good for animals, as Nicholas has talked about the ethical reasons. And he mentioned before, the UN even told the world that the #1 way that we can help climate change in the environment is by going vegan individually. So, and this is a statistic in America, but does anyone know the population of America, the United States? It's about 300 million. Some number around that number, 300 million. And imagine all those people taking showers every day, how much water that uses. But now understand this, that the meat industry in the United States, it uses more water. It uses about 30% of the water that the United States uses every year to the meat industry. So that's more than 300 million people taking showers every day over a year. So that's incredible how much of an impact that makes on the environment. But there's many reasons why this is such a benefit. For me, I started with my health. I started with the way I looked. Even for many students, because maybe I was the one that checked you in when you arrived here and brought you to your room, because I'm a staff member here. But for many students, I noticed as they arrive here and they start eating the food here in America, because unfortunately, here in the United States, there's a lot of chemicals in our food, especially the dairy. When I start to see students arrive, when I see them in the dining hall, and especially with the ice cream, because that's a dangerous station in Rita Hall. It's open at lunchtime. I think it might be open for breakfast sometimes, but it's a dangerous station. When I see students eating so much dairy here, and I see how their skin changes, I know it's because of the dairy. So if your skin is very vulnerable to that, I advise it might be because of the dairy that you're eating. That was for me. That was for my case. And that's the reason why I chose to change the way I am and why I was able to become that overnight. Because I didn't like the way I felt. It was very painful to me. And pain is one of the most powerful ways that we can change ourselves. And it's always interesting because this is a very popular thing in the world right now. There are many famous people that have chosen to become vegan. So these are some of them, as you might see. But there are some Game of Thrones actors up here. You can see Peter Dinklage right there, a very short one. There are famous athletes right now. In the top corner are Venus and Serena Williams, the tennis players. They're both vegan. There is, next to them, you can see that's Djokovic, the tennis player. So he wasn't always vegan, but he chose to become that way because he had all these allergies. And he noticed that he wasn't performing as best as he could in tennis. So his doctor told him that he has all these allergies with food, so he decided to change himself. He decided to go vegan. And ever since then, he has been a top performer. He's been one of the best players in the world, if not the best. And then there's some other celebrities here. Brad Pitt, the actor. Ariana Grande, the singer. That's Miley Cyrus, the singer. Billie Eilish. There's Kevin Hart down here, the comedian on the right. Zac Efron from High School Musical and many other movies. Very beautiful. Joaquin Phoenix, who was recently in The Joker, the actor. He's been vegan since he was 3 years old. And then over in the bottom corner, hopefully you know, Kanye West. He's not vegan, but his wife is, Kim Kardashian. So there are many famous people in the world right now that are doing this, and they are choosing mostly to do it for beauty purposes. But there are also many other people that do it for ethical reasons, such as Joaquin Phoenix, the actor from The Joker. So that gives you an idea of some of the famous people, and there are many, many more that have chosen to do this, specifically athletes, celebrities and actors, even people like Lionel Messi. He is on and off vegan throughout the year, as well as Sergio Aguero, who plays for Manchester City, Lionel Messi for Barcelona. So that's what gives you an idea of some famous people that choose to be vegan.
So, as I showed you before, some vegan organization from Chile. But now, if you want to research more, you can go to this organization. One of the most famous ones is Mercy for Animals, PETA, Human Society. They are very big organizations that are trying to inform the people and make understand us that it's very necessary. It's our responsibility to choose the best as we can. Other documentaries that I encourage people to watch are these. If you want, you can take a picture right now, and then you will have this information, and you will decide if you can see this, if you want to watch these documentaries. For example, Dominions is talking about animal rights. Conspiracy is talking about environmental facts, how animal products affect the environment. It's so powerful, that documentary. Forbes Overnight and What the Health talk about health issues. How if we choose plant-based diet, we can improve our health dramatically. The Game Changers was released this year, and it's talking about famous vegan athletes like Novak Djokovic. That one also is so good. It was made by James Cameron. It was made by James Cameron. He's also vegan, James Cameron. And Arnold Schwarzenegger also participated in that documentary. So a lot of people right now is more aware about this subject. And Peaceful Kingdom is another documentary similar to the mismo. Alright? For sure you are going to understand a lot of things if you watch these documentaries. But this video, even if you don't have audio, you're going to connect with this video because it's so beautiful. Sometimes vegan try to show shocking picture about how animals are treated. But here I decided to show you how animals have very beautiful feelings and all deserve the same respect as you, as dog, as cat, as everybody. You can decide, and I just tell you that we don't have to make a big change in our thoughts. It's just try to expand our perception. The perception of different animals that we consider food. But if we would have them in front of us, maybe we are going to play with them. And we're going to feel them in a different way. So I am telling you that we can make a change, we can have a big impact in the world if we choose the right decisions. So just to connect with the way I see this, if you have awareness, and if you guide this by self-loving, you will change positively, and you will develop a lot of virtues. And then, if you develop a lot of virtues, you are going to improve yourself in a positive way. If you improve yourself in a positive way, you will help others. You will help your family, your friends, your partners, the animals, the world, the society. And we will be able to make a better society. And if we do this, we're going to find happiness in the world. We're going to find success in the world. So, the power of awareness changes our well-being, changes our happiness. And the only way to change, the first step to change is you. You have to change at first. Because if we want to change the world, you have to change. As Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. Alright? So thank you guys. Thank you very much for listening. Listen to Dominic, listen to Faris. I hope you get some of this information and you reflect about it. Thank you very much.